is that you've been making the bridge between the cities, which we just mentioned right now, between creating infrastructures and as well buildings, and as well the ideas, and as well the events and the organization. So one of the things that you succeed exceptional was making the bridge between the creative industries. And the creative industries, we're talking about the art world and a lot of different things. So I want to ask one thing, and this is kind of provocative, but in the best way as well, in the follow-up with what you just discussed. So as we stage, this is data from August 2021, and is from statista.com. The global art market was valued at $50 billion in 2020. Okay, 50 billion US dollars. So this is kind of like, well, at the moment, if you're looking at Tesla is worth $1 trillion, it's very tiny percentage. It's very small. It's very small. But ironically, this kind of, if you look at the NFT platforms right now are trading alone this year around over $10 billion. So that means we have 1/5 of the market world, art world, right now being traded in just NFTs. Of course, this is not necessarily the art world, okay? I'm talking about a lot of things. But I think I'm talking here just the numbers. These people are creators that change the narratives, they are poets, they are whatever we call it. And they are important as well, because like you said, if everyone will be working on the universal income, which kind of it's just a question of when, of course, that means, and there's a lot of different how, definitely a schizophrenic case of numbers. Let's put the numbers, like I said, tiny numbers from an economical perspective. But this is actually super important, because if you don't have a creativity around what will distinguish from humanity as humans, it's mostly our way of thinking and create that makes us humans in the end of the day.
I don't think we are stigmatizing them. Actually, there are economical drivers that are always being considered, and the creative industries in Europe are considered a very important parts of the European economy. And I would say it's especially the case for Europe, because there is a tradition, and that's what Europe has to offer to the world. So I don't think we are stigmatizing it. I just think maybe we are not investing on it as much as we should, because obviously there are many more creators now than there were 30 or 40 years ago. And also the technology makes it possible for younger kids to make music just like that. I mean, my kid is 10 years old and she's making animations on YouTube. How could I imagine at the age of 10 that I would be doing, animation movies and putting them on YouTube? And this is crazy, and this is marvelous, because it means that technology is expanding the possibilities on people who might have something to say in creative terms. So that cannot be wiped out. But we should understand that if we invest more on that, we'll make our lives better at all levels. Not only because we are creating opportunities, but because even in societies in general, our quality of life will be better than if we don't have that. And it's just, machines working, either if they're human or mechanical, machines working to perform a certain job, which is horrible, as you know, and that's the kind of dystopia that science fiction has been warning us about. So I do think we have to find ways to make investment come into the art world or into the creative sectors, even if the return is not immediate or is not of the type that you expect. And I would say that investors who have a lot of wealth couldn't care less about the return of a certain amount of money, if that guarantees that actually they are safe and they are living in a safer society. And this is why millionaires in the United States at a certain point were actually telling the government that, yes, we are willing to be taxed at an higher rate, because they saw the revolution coming. And they knew that they could be assassinated in the street at any given time. So it was only smart of them to ask, please collect us a little bit more, because it was outrageous that Warren Buffett was being taxed at the same level that his domestic laborer was being taxed. So of course that has to change. And there is finally this global tax that is being accepted by most countries to tax corporations at 15% all over the world. And this is a good step also to create the RBI. But if you don't go those ways in terms of distributing wealth, of course, you're just shooting yourself on the foot. So basically, yes, we do have to invest more. And I would say investments, how do you call it, with no return, just accepting that it will have no return. And then there will be one artist that will have a magnificent return. And this is actually what art collectors do. So they spread their money around at 50 or 100 artists at a given time. And most of those artists will not get value over time, but there will be one that will will decuple, will multiply by 100 its value, and that compensates for the investment that has been made. So for me, that's the only advantage of actually having an art world that is so profoundly tied to the economy, because that means that money will pour into the creative types that are emerging. And that's a way of also distributing wealth. So that's fine. And I think NFTs, as we've been discussing, I think they are a possibility to actually help artists produce their work and make their work circulate. And this is essential. And it's good that it's made in a just way. So in each new transaction, you'll get something back from your first transaction, because that's one of the problems in the art world. Once you sell a piece, you never see it again. And it might be trading by millions a few years after, and you may still be, well, I wouldn't say a poor artist for sure, but not seeing the return on that work. And so I think NFTs provide for that possibility. But of course, you will have to solve some environmental problems that are associated to that issue, because even artists who are very sensitive and very, wired to those issues, they will step back from NFTs if NFTs are not offering the right kind of environmental or carbon footprint, if you want. So that means that there is a lot of potential, but only if certain problems are solved at this point in time. Then you can distribute wealth in a better way and make sure that apart from, I would say, the ecological crisis, which may by now be irreversible, you could actually still have a better life for many more people over the next few decades.